So your girl won a pitch competition for a sports marketing workshop and is going to LA in the summertime for a 10-week marketing boot camp where she's going to be living in a house with marketing creatives, and we are going to create our makeshift agency to work with actual clients. Yeah, that's what happened. Hi, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. We have some updates. My name is Giselle. I'm a digital designer, creative strategist, brand designer, website designer. Y'all know the deal. And I fear I actually have busted down the walls and come in like the Kool-Aid man into the sports marketing industry. I mean, it's happening. Things are happening. So last week I participated in a sports marketing incubator program. It was led by the Marcus Graham Project, which is an advertising, media, PR, media and marketing, just incubator program. They facilitate a lot of workshops throughout the country to help people in the marketing field, whether you're like recent grad or, mid-year mid-level professional, getting hands-on experience with marketing. And they have a lot of NBA partnerships. So of course, Philly being a great market in partnership with the Sixers and Hennessy, which is the official team spirit of the Sixers. And so they do this, they select about 25 people, and you go in, and this is basically the most intense college group project, 50% of your grade, overnight working experience ever. That is like the best way that I can describe this. This is legit like 4 days of networking, grinding, putting yourself out there, being noticeable, being on a team, like all the things, just 4 days of nonstop madness. I mean, it's madness. It was insane. Like, part of the workshop is like the networking and exposure. We had panels, stacked panels of people on the business side of the 76ers, talking to directors and executives in like partnerships, like corporate partnerships, member services for like season ticket holders, the marketing executives, social media executives, in-game operations, like IT support. We also had a panel of previous alumni of the program, being able to talk to them and their experiences and their winning tips and tricks and all the things. And so the panels were really good opportunities to like actually go up to people, introduce yourself, and ask questions. I definitely made sure to do that because that was the opportunity. Like, that's what it was all about. So I definitely spoke up. I definitely asked questions. I, did my one-on-one with the director of marketing. Hi everybody, my name is Giselle Duran. I'm a digital designer, creative strategist, getting into the world of social campaigning and marketing strategy with the past few years. Really excited to talk to you guys. My question is kind of catered to Greg, but everybody's open to answering. With the rapid growth and visibility of women's sports, and just going from NCAA tournaments, the WNBA expansion coming to our own backyard, unrivaled, we're seeing that shift in the culture and visibility and the viewership of it. So as the industry continues to evolve and expand, how is an organization like the Sixers changing the landscape without compromising the brand's equity, your loyalty, your viewership, but also continue to evolve and expand? We also had a amazing Hennessy brand experience. All right, I know I'm not the only one, because Hennessy was a staple in my earlier years in terms of my drinking. It was probably one of the first things that I started drinking, Henny, cranberry at the club. Very, very delicious, very, very college coded. But that's all I knew about Hennessy. Like, I didn't really dive too much deep into the brand. I do know that it is a staple in most Black and brown communities. And for a reason, I learned a lot. The standard that Hennessy has for themselves as a brand and in the cognac industry, and like the craftsmanship that goes behind it. Did y'all know that it takes 6 years to make one bottle of Hennessy? and we're just throwing it back like shots, like nothing, like water. It takes 6 years, okay? That is not just something you just throw back, okay? You can make tequila in 2 days. But cognac is different. It's an experience. Learning about the backstory, learning about how they are intentionally ingrained in minority communities for a reason. I'm gonna let y'all see the clip because he said it beautifully.
It is absolutely true that somebody said earlier that Hennessy was the first spirit to advertise in jet and ebony. That's 100% true. The history actually goes further behind that, right? In 1896, Maurice Hennessy, our CEO, so to speak at the time, was delivering a shipment of Hennessy kind of personally, and he met with this gentleman named William Shefflin, who controlled the distribution of Hennessy across the United States. William Shefflin was friends with Booker T. Washington. So Hennessy, because he fled, Richard Hennessy, when he fled persecution from the British, he taught his children and his grandchildren to care about the plight of something when they were introduced to another culture. So in the United States, Hennessy specifically started caring about the plight of the black man in the United States. So Hennessy became the first corporate sponsor of the NAACP, the first corporate sponsor of the National Urban League. It was the founding sponsor of the Tuskegee Institute.
Wow.
Like you said, first in ebony and first in jet. When I showed you the famous opera singer and somebody said, oh, that's an ambassador. One of our ambassadors in 1950 goes by the name of Josephine Baker.
Yes.
First woman, first African American woman to ever be a spirit ambassador. Because no man wanted a woman to tell him how to drink except for Josephine Baker. Right? World icon, hero, like she was a war hero, if you guys don't know that. But she was a Hennessy ambassador in 1950. But my favorite story about how Hennessy came to the United States is at the end of the Second World War, when we had won, when the United States had won, or the Allied forces had won, black men had to wait to come back to the United States, right? It was back of the bus, it was segregation. While they were waiting in the French theater, they were celebrated with champagne and what? Hennessy, right? That's a huge moment for a black man.
Yeah.
We're not recognized as people in the United States, but in France, they are celebrating as war heroes with champagne and Hennessy.
Wow.
So they brought Hennessy back with them, and it meant something every time they cracked a bottle of Hennessy, right? That's where it comes from. Not because Nas just dropped it in a song. It is because of that history. And they actually teach that history at the Tuskegee Institute. Different, right? Yeah.
Excellent project. That's beautiful. Thank you for the story.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then, of course, we got to experience a game. Like, what is this? Why else are we here? Well, obviously, we're here for more reasons. But, of course, to experience a game. We got to see the Sixers play the Spurs. We did lose. But part of that was seeing what in-game activations look like and how we could enhance our project with new ideas. What do we see that's missing? Especially we're thinking about this from the Hennessy side. So we have to see how we can activate the brand in the arena with like the marquee strips, like what, you know, in-game things can they do, halftime, t-shirt tosses, all the things. So part of it was just enjoying the game, but also it was just like market research and actually observing what's going on, seeing where we can then fill in the holes. So I did mention that this is a competition, okay? This is like go time. We were put into groups of people that we have never met before, that we didn't know. So there's that, right? You're learning with new people. You're trying to get to know each other. You're working together. Again, this is 50% of your grade basically. And you're trying to make it work. And I'm gonna say my team really pulled through. Definitely just good vibes from the start. We had a trade. We had a trade in the beginning because we had our team put together, and then they came over and like, nah, y'all too strong of a group. So they traded one of our people, and we had So like we even went through a whole situation, but it was really, really great getting to collab with people. In terms of the dynamics of the group and demographics, we were split down the middle, 3 girls, 3 guys. Age group wise, I'd say like mid 20s, late 20s, and then me, 32-year-old in the room, probably in the handful of people that were the oldest in the room in the first place. So I definitely felt, my age, but it was helpful, tapping into the youth, tapping in with the kids. They were able to learn from me. I was able to learn from them. So it was very reciprocal. So we were given a brief to execute. It was very detailed. They had all the marketing lingo in there. I think I threw it away by accident, but so basically the question we had to answer was, how can Hennessy partner with the 76ers using music and culture as a vehicle to engage younger demographic? We're talking Gen Z, 21 to 35, and amplify their legacy in music and embed the brand into the modern pregame ritual throughout the local community. I had to read that off my presentation because I really didn't remember. But that was our brief. That's what we had to execute. And we had to execute a 360 campaign. What does that mean? We had to think about, what does this look like in the social storytelling, digital storytelling, citywide promotion, activations, things like that. Community-led efforts, literally like events in the community, programming. What do they look like giving back to the community? And in-game activations, operations, which is like the big one. What are we doing in the arena? What are we doing during the game? What are we doing outside of the game, after the game? So we had to think about all of this and really have the lens of it telling one storyline. So in terms of the role that I played in the group, I definitely was creative director and brand strategist. And the brand strategy side, I think, really helped pull things together, because in the beginning, we had so many ideas. Like people were just like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And then we kept getting feedback that, hey, y'all have good ideas, but they're not connected. Like, what's the why behind it? And so we were basically working backwards. And that's when I had to be like, okay, I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in and figure this out and figure out what is our thorough line, what's our story to unfold.
How many people in here are from Philly? I know we have a couple. Raise your hand. Okay, love to see it. You don't have to answer this next question, but when you think of Philly, what do you think? Some people might say good food. Some people might say the grittiness of the streets, we're a little hard around the edges. Or some people might say the universal love for sports. What we would say is we are rooted in sound, and we are led by craftsmanship, community, and legacy. What do I mean by that? Before we introduce ourselves, let me pass to my teammates who are a little bit different.
So what does that mean? The Philadelphia 76ers and Hennessy are united by a shared quest for excellence, where craftsmanship, community, and legacy don't just coexist, they set the rhythm. From the aging barrels in Cognac to the hardwood of South Philly, trust the process is way more than a mantra. It's how excellence is built over time. Rooted in our connection to music and our tenacious creative spirit, we empower new voices to reinterpret their craftsmanship through sound, trusting their process and experiencing the transformation. Together, through the fan-led digital storytelling and community activations, we redefine the pregame as a modern ritual, positioning Hennessy not only as the official spirit of Philadelphia 76ers, but as the spirit of the city's next movement.
So Rooted in Sound is a culture curator mentorship program that would be a digital weekly series taking new emerging artists and putting them through an incubator program with Tierra Whack. Then that leads up to the Rooted in Rap Festival, the season home opener for the Sixers, festival for the city. The artists then get to come and perform, and it's just a big celebration leading into the season. Of course, we had to push cocktails, so we came up with our version of the Hennessy Classic cocktail, and we call it the Henny John. And I think this is what really sold it. This is what made it like Philly, because that was also a thing. We had to embed all of the brand ethoses together. We had to blend it together and make it make sense. And that's why we came up with craftsmanship, community, and legacy. but also making this very Philly, hence the Henny John. So it's the cocktails, but with a side of water ice. Because if you know anything about Philly, you know water ice is king. So we have the Henny John, and then ending it with the in arena, all activations. That mentorship program then leads into a selected final artist that would perform at the Hennessy halftime concert series, which does exist. That is something that they currently do in their partnership with the Sixers. So we are now amplifying something that they already do and just kind of building up into that. So those are the core concepts of our presentation. I'm definitely down to like do actual walkthrough presentation if y'all are interested in actually seeing the whole thing. But it was really, really dope just putting this all together and presenting it. And like I said, having to really figure out how everything is connected. You can have all these great ideas, but if they're not connected to the greater mission or they don't like intertwine and work together, then it falls apart. So that is what we were missing. And that's where I think that's where I shined the best, or shone. That's where I did my thing. Okay. So I stepped in and I was like, all right, let's figure this out. When I say all-nighters, I meant that. Okay. Tuesday night, I went to bed at 3 a.m. because that mission statement, I had to nail that. One thing about my team, we were very intentional on continuing to work together in person as much as possible. The workshop would end, the workday would end, but then we would meet up at somebody's hotel because we had an out-of-towner on our team. Shout out Chandler. We miss you. We'd meet up at his hotel to continue working, continue refining. We would be up on FaceTime. We would go to down the street at Rutgers at their student union. So like we were really intentional on continuing to work together in person as much as possible. And I really think that's how we took home the dub. But yeah, y'all, it wasn't until Tuesday night. I went to sleep at 3 a.m., woke up at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and I didn't go back to sleep until Thursday at 5:30 p.m. when all was said and done and I came back to my house. I had been up for 35 hours at that point. We all were. Like the night before, we were on a group FaceTime, and it was the most hilarious experience of my life. It literally just felt like college again. Sleepover project, group project, getting it done. And at the end of the day, it worked out.
The winning group, they did a great job of having a very strong manifesto and opening statement. They understood what it's like to be from Philadelphia, what it's like to be a Philly John. They understood the Sixers organization, and they really showed us as judges a different way of viewing our campaigns and how to approach things that would be impactful for the city and the organizations and our consumers as well. So the only request that I have is that let me get a Henny John. Is that what
Yeah.
Shout out to Group 6, to Game 6 Agency.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, yes.
Something very special to you. If you were the honors.
Come pass out something.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm not gonna cry. Please. So my team did win the pitch competition. Shout out to us, Game 6 Agency. But outside of the pitch competition, which for that, in terms of like getting something besides like the merch and things like that, you kind of just get recognition. Obviously, I think this is now going to transition into being an alumni of the program and giving back and coming back to mentor the next cohort. So I think that's what I foresee for my group in the future. But in addition to the pitch competition winner, there is an individual winner of the entire cohort that basically gets selected as the MVP of the program. And they then transition on to LA in the summer for a marketing boot camp, another incubator, all the things. And that person is me.
For someone who we all recognize as a powerhouse, her team called her the leader of the group, her entire team voted her, and we all saw her talent on full display.
Not Big Mama. Big Mama.
The person we'd like to recognize is someone whose talent was on full display. We can't wait to figure out what kind of way you're going to work with the Marcus Graham Project and which way we can help you elevate your skills. And that's our girl. Giselle.
So, what do I say? First of all, thank you to everybody in this room, to Marcus Graham Project, to the Philadelphia 76ers. I have been a fan since I was young. I grew up in North Jersey, love watching the Sixers. AI is my favorite. I do remember like coming to the arena and all of that. I have, actual photos printed out, not digital anymore. But this is so amazing. The Hennessy activation was so like motivating, especially knowing Hennessy from my college days, but not really knowing Hennessy, and really just looking at it as like a culture innovator, shifter, moving forward, like, wow, how can I think like that? But to my team specifically, thank y'all so much for trusting me. This was really a challenge for me, like all of us internally, trying to come in here, wanting to put our best foot forward, wanting to be leaders, but also learning how to be team members and listeners and followers. Everybody in here is a leader in their own right, even when we don't feel like it. The imposter syndrome. Larry did a really good job at trying to get it out of us, but it still lives there, and that goes on throughout our careers. I feel like, I was seen as Big Mama. That's fine. I'm 32, but it's like, I'm looking for my job. But I think with that, it does come with experience, but also knowing that you kind of like, you feel like, oh, when I get to this age, I'm gonna have it figured out when I get to this. I thought at 25 I was gonna be married and have 2 kids. Like, and then I got to 25, like, what was I thinking? Like, that's not how things work. So really knowing that as you go on throughout life, you are still constantly evolving, constantly figuring it out. You're learning every day. There's no set time, no set age where you have everything locked in. Things do get better. You learn and you evolve, like I said. But truly, that's the life cycle. And thank you guys for trusting me. Thank you guys for teaching me and teaching me how to help y'all and all the things. It's a cyclical, all the things. And y'all are MVPs as much as I am. We are all MVPs. And I'll stop talking because I ramble. Thank you. I love all of you.
So yes, I did win MVP of the Philly cohort for the 2026 season. Y'all, I'm so excited. And when I tell you that I really I was doing the damn thing. I already told y'all, like, I was asking questions. I was talking to people. I was putting myself out there. I sat in the very front row, the very first chair that you see when you get in the room. Like, that was my seat every day. I was very intentional on standing out in that way. And I'm gonna be honest, like, I really did know that I was gonna come out on top in some way, shape, or form. You just gotta know that you're that. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a little cliche to be all, oh, you got to believe in yourself. You got to think highly of yourself, blah, blah, blah. But no, you really do. Like, you really do. Because if you step into the room knowing that, hey, I am who I am very smart, I have all the skills, blah, blah, like, I'm meant to be in this room, you start to exude that energy and people feed off of it. So yeah, I just really went in there with a very high level mindset of, let me get in here, let me ask my questions, let me put myself out there, let me learn from people, trying to lead, but also follow and listen, and allowing people to say their ideas, figure out how to connect it, asking them questions so they can develop a little bit more. Like, I was poking holes in people's ideas, not to like be like, this is a terrible idea, but to make them think, how is it connecting to the bigger picture? Because that's the main key. If it doesn't connect to the bigger picture, then you're just have random ideas, like, all sporadically. You got to make it connect, okay? Full circle, 360, if you will. But yeah, you guys, I'm super excited for the entire experience. Even if I didn't win, like, it would have been amazing nonetheless. What the Marcus Graham Project does with these incubator programs is amazing. I truly did not know what to expect, but this is a full, like, this is legit. This is legit. This program, look them up, Marcus Graham Project. They travel and do these incubator programs with a few NBA partners they have. Dallas, Atlanta, Phoenix, who else? Brooklyn. Like, just look them up and be on the lookout. You don't have to be into marketing to go, but if you think there is something there that you can take away and contribute, I highly suggest applying. It's free. Like, it's a free program. All you have to do is apply. All you got to do is apply. You're sitting there on the couch anyway. What else are you doing with your life? So let's, mark this as another infinity stone in the gauntlet, okay, of sports marketing experiences that I have. Like, February, ever since Unrivaled, February has been crazy. I've been talking to people, like having like coffee calls with people in the industry and just chatting and all that. Again, networking, putting myself out there, and things are coming to fruition, and it's really crazy, but I'm very, very grateful, and I see the light. And so I'm excited to keep going, excited to keep y'all along on the journey. Again, let me know if you want to see the presentation. I can obviously run through it. I was in a group with 6 people, so we all have a part in it, but I can kind of just show y'all the highlights of some stuff. But yeah, man, shout out to my team, shout out to the Marcus Graham Project, shout out to the Sixers, and shout out to Hennessy. Okay, put my hat on to close it out. But yeah, you guys, let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know if you've done the Marcus Graham Project. Shout out to the Grammarly, the alumni. I'm very excited to be part of it. And yeah, until the next time, let's see what happens next, okay? Because we're going to keep busting down the walls. Right. Bye.
Y'all put me on the spotlight.
Yeah, come on.
Since we speaking, I'm proud of y'all. Y'all really held it together. I tried to get y'all to get on my formula early so we can get the W, which worked. So congrats to y'all. Congrats to everybody, though. It's not really a losing situation. Y'all all won. Y'all all have something, a portfolio with this documentation that y'all worked on, so y'all can always take it anywhere you go. And this is y'all network now. This is all y'all family. We all are your family. So take this opportunity, seize the moment, lock in, and build on these connections. But I'm still proud of all y'all. Y'all all dope.